Alright, hello everyone, everything Samsung Pro here. So today we're going to be doing a review of the Galaxy S6 Edge. So I picked this phone up with two other phones in an eBay parts lot for 30 bucks total. These are both ZTE phones, which are just generic Android phones. They both need batteries, so if I get those, maybe I'll do a video on them. But yeah, so I picked this up as a damaged phone. It actually works and everything. The seller knew it was working, but pretty much the only thing that's wrong with it is that it's cracked in the corner here, and there's a line and a black spot right there. But other than that, it works perfectly fine, and I've been using this for a few different apps, basically getting my opinion for the phone ready. So yeah. Okay, so first things first, I just want to tell everyone that on this phone there is no SD card reader. So on the S5 there is an SD card reader, but unfortunately they took it away on this phone and then brought it back on the S7. I don't really know why they did that, but there's probably some reason behind it. But yeah. So if you're buying the lower end versions of the S6 or any of the phones for that matter, not just the S6 Edge, the 16GB or the 32GB, then you may have some storage problems at some point, and it's going to get annoying to back it up to your computer. I actually got lucky because this phone just happened to be the 128GB model, so this is the most storage on the S6 that you can get. Again, 30 bucks in eBay parts slot. That was an amazing deal, and I don't think the guy knew it, so yeah, there's that. So I'm not really concerned about storage on this phone. I'm not ever going to use it as an actual phone. I don't even think it's on my right carrier, but yeah. So obviously, let's talk about the camera first, because people that are even seriously looking into this phone might want to know how the camera performs. So I believe it can go up into 1440p. Let me check. Video size. Oh, actually UHD. That's actually pretty good. So obviously the camera is still a pretty decent thing. I believe it's the same camera as the S7 here. So there's that. The S7 camera, a lot of people like that one, and the S6 camera, it's still pretty good camera. It takes good pictures, good video, or at least decent video, and yeah. So if you're even looking into the phone for the camera, you can know it's a pretty good camera, so you can trust that. Now, one thing I like that they fixed, finally on the S6 here, is this annoying lag when you take a picture on the S5. Like, look at that. It's loading, like, it's so slow. And by now, you've probably by far mixed what you're trying to take a picture of. This one, take a picture, it's fast, it's easy. I like that they finally fixed that. Which, the thing is weird, about the S5, I think it's the software that's really holding it back, because if you HUD into the Verizon Messages app on this phone, you can actually take pictures straight from the app. So if you go into the thing here and you hit the picture button, it takes a picture immediately, and it gets what you can get. It's pretty blurry in that one, but it gets it immediately. So it's probably just the software. It is an outdated version of Android. I believe this one can go up to Android 8. It's currently on 7 right now because I didn't want to update it from 7. It's good enough as it is, and older versions of Android are more desirable anyway. So yeah. So pretty much all your apps and stuff will still be compatible with this version of Android. As you can see, you can get Call of Duty Mobile, Roblox, a bunch of other stuff. Pretty much everything is still compatible with this version of Android on this phone. They also run pretty decently. However, on the S5 here, there's a lot of stuff that's not compatible with it. So if you're going to be looking for apps and stuff on this one, I know there is a lot of stuff that isn't compatible with this version of Android. So, just keep that in mind. So let's talk about video viewing experience on YouTube. So obviously this phone has curved edges, and a lot of people complain that the edges on Edge phones will distort the video on the top and bottom. However, I haven't really noticed it. It's not really a problem for me. I'm kind of used to having a Edge display at this point because of my S10. it's not really a big deal for me. I don't really care. If you're someone that watches a lot of video and really cares that you're getting the best display for that, the screen is obviously very good. It goes up to 1440p, so that's always good. But if you're worried that the things are going to get distorted on the side, it might for you, but it really hasn't for me, so yeah. Also, another thing that they have improved over the S5 here is actually the fingerprint reader. So on the S5, you had to swipe down on the fingerprint reader to get it to read your finger. This one, you can just kind of hold it there and it will unlock the phone. So that actually they carried over into the S7, and then now it's eventually under the screen. So they obviously took the step in the right direction with this phone with the fingerprint reader. So if you want a fingerprint reader, this is a phone for you. Now, another thing I would like to mention is that there is no Snapdragon version of this phone. So this one right here has a Snapdragon 801 here in the US. This one is just Exynos all around the world. So in case you don't know what that means, the processor in Samsung phones usually differs depending on where you live in the world. So if you're outside of the US, you're normally getting an Exynos processor, which is the one that this has. And those are made by Samsung. And they tend to be a little bit slower than the Snapdragon ones that you get here in the US, if you buy the phones in the US. But this one is just Exynos for every version of the phone, pretty much no matter where you are in the world. So that's kind of unfortunate. You can kind of see it with some applications, but most applications run fine. It's good enough. Okay, so all in all, if you're looking for a cheaper Android phone, maybe this is the one for you. Maybe you really want the home button with the fingerprint sensor. Maybe you really like the Edge display. Maybe you really want a 1440p screen. Maybe you want a pretty decent camera. It's all around a pretty decent phone even still today. So that's basically going to be my review for this thing. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah. So see ya.